In the wake of the devastating hurricane that destroyed much of the island territory of Puerto Rico, Donald Trump was faced with a crisis that he was evidently unprepared for. But he had an idea. Why don't we just pass the buck to someone else by literally selling the island? I'm not kidding. This is according to the former acting Homeland Security Secretary Elaine Duke, who, by the way, she is a registered Republican, a very conservative one, and generally agrees with Donald Trump on the issues. Even then, she's like, yeah, he literally tried to sell the island of Puerto Rico. Now, here's her quote on this. The president's initial ideas were more of as a businessman. You know, can we outsource the electricity? Can we sell the island? You know, or divest of that asset? Okay, look, Puerto Rico, it's a territory filled with American citizens. These are Americans. You can't just sell it off like it's a building that isn't making money anymore. No, these are American people whose lives were destroyed. And by the way, saying like, man, I don't really want to pay to fix that. We don't really care about it anymore. Can we just sell it? I mean, come on. That's Donald Trump. Jesus. I mean, the racism is actually really apparent because he wants to sell it off because he sees no value in having Puerto Rico as a U.S. territory. No value. And of course, you know why, right? Oh, it's full of those people. Those people that was quite convinced probably up to a certain point that weren't even American to begin with. I mean, this is sickening, man. Absolutely sickening. I mean, only thinking of the island as a commodity and the people not even as human beings worthy of being an American, or as not as American as the people in Texas, right? Sick. Now, Duke, who took the helm at the Department of Homeland Security after John Kelly left to become White House Chief of Staff, told the New York Times the possibility of selling Puerto Rico was, quote, never seriously considered or discussed after Donald Trump floated the idea. I can imagine, right, in the meeting, Donald Trump just like spitballing these dumbass ideas over and over again, like, can we just nuke a hurricane? Yes, that's something that he actually threw out there during a meeting. Why don't we nuke a hurricane? Why don't we just sell the island? Oh my God. I mean, what a horrible idea, right? Look, and this is an absolute tragedy, by the way, because look, nearly 3,000 people were killed from that storm. But look, Trump has zero empathy for the people that died, for dead American citizens. Coronavirus has killed over 140,000 Americans, and there's basically no sympathy. He doesn't give a damn about that. He only cares about his reelection chances. That said, back to Duke, right? So now there's a little bit of internal drama between her and Mick Mulvaney. Now she said she recalled calling for an emergency declaration before Hurricane Maria made landfall. However, then Director of Office of Management and Budget, Mick Mulvaney, told her to stop, quote, being so emotional. Emotional. Holy sexism, Batman. You're gonna go tell a woman, oh, don't call an emergency declaration. Stop being so emotional. It's just Puerto Rico. I mean, seriously. He also allegedly added that it's, quote, not about the people, it's about the money. Well, of course it is. I mean, to someone like Mick Mulvaney, it's never been about the people. It's always been about the money and how much money he can siphon off the government. You know, by the way, speaking about money, Hurricane Maria cost an estimated $43 billion And this is actually a range between $43 to $159 billion in damages. But to the Trump administration, Puerto Rico is such a low priority that they, basically refuse to do anything but the bare minimum to help fellow American citizens that live on the island. Again, it really, really is quite sickening. That said, Mulvaney is like, oh, I never said that. Well, I never made such a remark. Quote, my experience with the acting director was that she rarely got anything right at DHS. At least she's consistent. You know what? I believe her over lying ass Mick Mulvaney any day. Fuck that guy. What a POS. And that said, I'm not saying that Duke is any better. Again, you're going to see a quote later on from her that I'm just going to, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right. For one, in response to Duke's interview, which the Times said constituted her first public comments since leaving the administration, White House spokesperson Judd Deere told the paper that Trump has, quote, kept his promise to the American people to reduce illegal immigration. Yeah, by making this a place that no one wants to go because of the virus, secure the border, lower the crime rate, and maintain law and order. He has never wavered in his highest obligation to the American people, their safety and security. Again, tell that to the people of Puerto Rico, whom he absolutely failed in order to protect, and by the way, also threw paper towels at. Now, Duke said Trump's White House put their ideology in politics ahead of policy. She says, quote, there's a singular view that strength is mean, that any kind of ability to collaborate and not be angry is weakness. She said Trump embraces hate-filled, angry, and divisive language that distracts from the real issues. So, again, this is a lifelong Republican. We disagree on policy, but at the same time, she kind of nails it, right? Which makes this next quote absolutely unbelievable. She said in response, to being asked if she could vote for Donald Trump, she says, quote, the decision is a really hard question. But given the choices, I don't know yet. You don't know yet. How are you even still on the fence? I mean, really? As a Republican, Joe Biden is probably the most conservative Democrat other than Michael Bloomberg, right? And he is the presumptive nominee. You got a problem voting for somebody like Joe Biden over Donald Trump? I mean, look, I can understand if you were like, oh my God, I presumptive nominee Bernie Sanders kind of scares me a little bit because of his very sensible approaches to policy, like healthcare. I mean, I really don't want poor people to get healthcare. Well, that sucks. But look, Biden again is an extremely conservative Democrat. How is this even a question at this point? If you're a right winger, if you're a left winger like myself, that would be considered a radical leftist, right? Voting for Biden is like a super hard pill to swallow for us. It really is. And so I can understand a lot of you are probably like, oh God, I really don't want to vote for this guy. And some of you might not. Some of you are talking about going third party. That's not my position. But then again, I'm not going to vote shame anybody. I've already told you guys that a million times. I don't believe in vote shaming. It's never worked. And I don't vote shame in one way. And I hope that those of you who choose to go independent or third party also extend the same courtesy by not trying to vote shame us the other way, especially if our argument basically is damage or harm reduction. So that's our thing, right? So that said, it's amazing how far brainwashing has gone in the Republican Party. Donald Trump's a moron. He is, even in your own words, hate-filled, angry, and divisive, and you still have a problem not voting for him. Maybe it's because you all pretty much agree when it comes to the policy positions, which are, by the way, also hate-filled and divisive. So, once again, proving that the Republican Party is basically a death cult. And the only problem they really had with Donald Trump was the fact that he was so open about it and so transparent. All right. Last story here. So one super chat here I want to read. Again, Dango Pango says, there's no Warren bossing say. The Earth King invites you to Lake Laogai. Oh, no, don't go to Lake Laogai. Don't do it. Don't go to the lake. Bad choo-choo in that lake. All right, anyway. You guys haven't watched the Avatar series, The Last Airbender. You probably should. It's good. It's good stuff. All right, anyway. Moving on. Last story. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.